Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We're going to talk about the sanctions on Russia and how things could actually get dangerous for crypto. Now, I know a lot of you purists are hoping that crypto defies these sanctions, but me as an investor, I don't really want them to do that because that could be damaging to my investment and a lot of people's investments. Now, I don't mind if they actually use Monero or another privacy-based coin to actually do this because personally I'm not invested in Monero and I don't think most of my viewers actually are. I've said this before, I think Monero represents another layer of risk that I simply don't want to take with my money. So, and Monero is pretty much built for these things like getting around sanctions, doing non-KYC AML. So if the authorities come down on Monero, I don't mind that so much. I think Monero has ways to get around it and I'm not invested in it. But for non-Monero coins like Bitcoin, we might be facing some headwinds because regulators are coming up with the excuse, despite a lot of authorities saying that Russia can't actually use crypto to get around sanctions, regulators are really focusing on how they actually can. And we have a couple of articles to actually look at. So this is from the block. UK regulators warn crypto firms aren't exempt from Russian sanction rules. So we know that most of the centralized exchanges have not agreed to ban Russian citizens. They will actually ban basically Russian citizens that have been targeted by the sanctions. But that leaves a lot of leeway. So the Bank of England, HM Treasury, and the Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA, issued a joint statement on sanctions and crypto assets amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So they're definitely wanting all these crypto companies to tighten KYC AML. Now, I don't mind if they have really stringent KYC AML. I think crypto is going to be that anyways. I don't think you were going to get away with KYC AML. But the thing is, I don't want them to restrict it so tight that it becomes impossible to actually transact. The statement is the first of its kind from UK's financial regulators. And I know this is very, very difficult to regulate DeFi and basically a KYC AML DeFi because it's really not possible. But the thing is they might actually shut down, they might try to target and fence off DEXs if there's a lot of economic activity trying to go around the sanctions, and that would be really bad for DeFi and a lot of the big things that are developing in crypto. Now, there's a lot of advocates for DeFi and these things, so we might yet have a lot of hope. But the Russian war and these sanctions are slowly starting to encroach on crypto, at least in the UK. The FCA joined a growing body of public issuances on the topic since the invasion began last month. The statement and reiteration of commitments to monitor the potential crypto use by sanctioned bodies, as well as a reminder on the commitments of regulated firms. So there's a lot of firms in the UK that deal in crypto, and they have to keep a very, very big watch. And there are other firms like crypto exchanges that have refused to block Russian individuals, which I kind of agree with, but at the same time, it does put our investments in danger. Because if they really sanction hard on Bitcoin, that's going to affect the entire market, and it would take us a long time to actually recover in terms of price for that. So I would rather the individuals use Monero or another privacy coin to do that, because that doesn't really threaten the entire crypto industry. It only threatens privacy coins, and privacy coins have their own way of getting around that. Plus, that's kind of what they're built for. I think mainstream crypto is more of an investable asset now, doing things like DeFi, not really trying to get around tax evasion and money laundering at this point. There are coins specifically designed for that, and I hope they actually get used for that and not mainstream crypto. Because the detriment to mainstream crypto, if they come down hard on it, will be very, very huge, especially Bitcoin, because everything is tethered to Bitcoin. So the extreme KYC, we're getting into the realm of extreme KYC AML, and I do hope most exchanges actually toe the line. And basically the only way to get around KYC AML is to actually use something like Monero Zcash or something like that. Now, the regulators can actually try to cut off Monero and Zcash and things like that. But like I said, they actually have ways to get around it. And because they actually have ways to get around it, I don't think it'll affect them that much because that's kind of what those things are actually built for. So this actually kind of worries me that these regulators are warning crypto firms now that they aren't exempt from Russian sanction rules. They could definitely use this as an excuse for much, much tighter regulations. And stuff like this also worries me, Russians liquidating crypto in the UAE. Now, the UAE is one country that actually hasn't sanctioned Russia, But if the big countries like the US and the UK and Europe see like crypto being used in the UAE to actually get around sanctions, they will clamp down on a global trade of crypto, which would be very, very bad for the rest of us. So like these countries that haven't actually sanctioned Russia could actually pose a risk on the crypto front to the rest of us investors. So crypto firms, this is from Economic Times, crypto firms and the United Arab Emirates are being deluged with requests to liquidate billions of dollars of virtual currency. So like this isn't theoretical. This is like reality. As Russians seek a safe haven for their fortunes. Now, they want to invest in UAE property with the crypto they've actually accumulated. Now, my guess is these are the fat cats because regular Russian people don't really have millions of dollars to invest in UAE property. Heck, regular Americans don't either. Some clients are using cryptocurrency to invest in real estate in the UAE, while others want to use firms there to turn their virtual money into hard currency and stash it elsewhere. So they're trying to get around sanctions in this particular front. And the US actually might pressure the UAE or see where that money goes and then seize that money otherwise. And they could come down hard on cryptos because they're seeing a lot of money being ported around cryptos via countries like the UAE. And they might enforce much stricter regulations on cryptos and crypto transferences. So that could actually be really, really bad. Once again, I really do hope that they KYC AML Bitcoin full scale, so they can't do this stuff. And these people have to turn to like Monero and Zcash to do all this stuff, because that's actually what those things are actually built for. And that won't affect the entire crypto industry as much, as authorities will just come down hard on Monero and Zcash and not so Bitcoin and the rest of crypto. But there is a threat here to the greater crypto market that authorities will come down much, much harder because of things like this. And they'll use these things as an excuse to really clamp down and really make maybe retail crypto investing much, much harder. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.